Hi, I'm Bobby with Robopac. I'm going to show you how to install a Rconnect kit today with the film consumption sensor on a Robopac S7. So step one, we're going to take off the HMI cover interface. So you'll need a 3mm Allen wrench to take off this cover. The screws on the very bottom, so we just take that out. Once the screw's out, you can pop this cover off. Next step, we're going to be taking off this HMI cover, and you'll need a 10mm socket, and there's 2 bolts on the top and 1 on the bottom. So here's the Rconnect kit. It's going to bring the module. You have your antenna. You have all the wires to connect the power and communication. You have the Ethernet cable, and then you have a few more wires that has the Wago splices already built in. You do have your schematic that shows you how to wire everything in. And then this is the film consumption sensor that's going to be mounted in the carriage. And then these are the reflective stickers where the sensor reads, and it's going to be mounted on the pre-stretch roller. So on the module, when you're first installing these units, you do have to make sure you write down the IMEI number. There's also a SIM card number that's going to go inside, and just make sure you get the numbers off of this to activate the Rconnect. So I'm going to activate this Rconnect system through email, so I just want to make sure I send a picture of the serial number of the machine, the SIM number, and then the IMEI number. So enter the SIM card inside to the module. On the very back side, you have a slot. It does show the way it's supposed to go in. So the cutout, follow the cutout, and just put that in there. Push it in where it clicks. So the next thing we're going to do is connect the power wires to the module. So on the schematic, it's showing the brown wires going to pin 2, which we'll go ahead and do now. You got pin 2. Tighten that up. And then the next wire is showing the white wire on pin 3. And then the next step is going to be to go ahead and connect your Ethernet cable to the module right here. And then you got 2 wires left, which is the yellow and green. These are the communications. You're actually going to connect the yellow wire to pin 11. So yellow wire to pin 11, which is up here. Go at 11. And then the next wire is going to be cable with the green going into pin 12. So green going to pin 12. And then you're done on that. So the next step is to mounting the Rconnect antenna. Just goes here. It just threads right in. So the next step is mounting the Rconnect module. So antenna needs to point up. Slide it in. You do have 2 locking clips on the bottom of the Rconnect module. So bring it down on the bracket. And then once it's on the bracket, you'll just push these clips in. 1, 2. So now we need to take this plug off here. It's the communication. Just pop it off with a screwdriver. And what we're gonna do is remove the we're gonna need to remove the white and the brown wire. So take the white wire out. Take the brown wire out. And now you want to put in your, from this harness, you want to put your green and yellow wire. So your green wire goes first. And then next your yellow wire. Just a little bit, if it's a little bit too long, you can shave off a little bit on the wire. And then next you want to put your yellow wire in. So you should have your shield, green and yellow. So the two wires you take off, you got the brown and white. The brown will go into the yellow. So just take this connector, flip it up all the way. Go ahead and put that in there. Snap it in. And then the white will actually go into the green connectors. So just flip that tab up. Push it in, close it. So the next two connectors is you got your power HMI. So you got the plus wire here, the minus here. So we're gonna take both of these out. We'll start with the plus. Just pull the little, push the tab in. The wire comes out. And then same with the minus that needs to come out next. Push it in, it comes out. So now you should have a plus and minus wire here, and they're marked on the cable itself. So we're going to start with the 2 plus, and we're actually going to put the 2 plus in with the brown. Last spot on the brown. So open up your connector, put that 2 plus in here, close it. And then on the minus, we have the minus cable. We're gonna go ahead and put that with the white. Open up the connector, push a wire in, close it. So the last two wires you have is the brown wire and the white wire. So we actually want to put the white wire in the minus, which is the middle one, and then the plus wire, which is the brown, into the first pin. So we'll start with the minus, kind of bend the wire a little bit, and we're gonna push this in and try to get it in that slot. All right, the white wire's in. The next one is the brown wire. So push that in. Brown wire's in. So the last two is just 2 steps, is just putting this back in. Communication, it just pops back in. And then you do have your Ethernet cable that goes in right next to it. So just double check your connectors, make sure everything is back in HMI, plugged in pretty good. Double check your connectors here to make sure all the wires are tight. And then the next step is mounting this back. Just make sure you kind of tuck the wires in. And they're just gonna mount back 3 bolts, 10mm. Let's get those started. And one on the bottom. balance, make sure everything's in. And then now you just want to grab your drill or wrench, tighten these up. And then you want to go ahead and put on your the cover. Just mount this on there, and then there is a little set screw that goes on the bottom to secure it. Just go ahead and get that started in there. There it goes. So the next thing we're going to do is mount the photo eye sensor for the film consumption. So we need to lift the carriage up where you can swing this door open. There's 2 bolts to take this door, to swing this door open. 10mm socket takes the bolts out. This door will swing open. We're going to be wiring up the sensor to the PLC, and then your plus and minus here. And I'll show you where the sensor is going to mount. So the sensor itself, open up the carriage door, and the sensor itself will actually mount right here. Yep, it's going to mount here using these 2 bolts. The kit brings the bolts, so it's going to mount here, and we're going to run our wire. And then here, right on this roller here, we're going to add the reflector so this can see it. So at the very top of the electrical cabinet, you'll see a little hole cut out. So we'll go ahead and run this up to the sensor. So just kind of feed it in, give yourself a little slack, and then once you get it started, come to the opposite side, and you're gonna pull the cable out. Once you get it out, go ahead and connect your sensor. Connect your sensor, push it in. Tighten it up. And then next step, we're gonna mount it. So we're gonna go ahead and mount the sensor. We got the connector pushed in. The connector needs to go towards the back of the carriage. You got your 2 mounting holes here. So the sensor will go at the bottom. See if you can get one started. So I got one in, snug it down. Then we got one more. So we're gonna get it lined up. All right, got them lined up. And then you go ahead and tighten them down. We're gonna use a 2.5mm Allen wrench. So we're gonna go ahead and tighten these down. All right, so your sensor's now mounted. So you will have a little slack here on the wire, so just take one zip tie and go right there in the hole. Tighten it up and then just snip it off. So you do have, we're gonna be making the sensor connection. You have your brown positive, you have your blue minus. The white one's not gonna be used, and then we're gonna use the black one for signal. The kit does bring a lot of wire, so we're actually gonna shorten it up. So we're gonna just cut it, and then we're gonna restrip these wires. So now that you got the sensor mounted in and wires coming out, you want to connect these 3 wires. You got your positive, you got your minus, and then you got your signal wire. The signal wire is actually going to go into the carriage PLC on input number 2. There's going to be an open spot for it here. So just push in the connector, and then put your black wire in input number 2. And then you're gonna take your brown wire, and you're gonna find an open slot. You have your rows that shows the 2+, so all of these have 24 volts. They're filled on this side, so we're gonna use the opposite side. So we're gonna use +2. We're gonna go into here. These connectors have you put your flathead inside, and then it opens up the gate. you can put your wire in and release. So the last wire you'll connect is the blue wire, it's just minus. So we're just gonna use one of the minus slots. So put your screwdriver in, put your minus wire inside, and you're good. Now that you have the 3 wires connected, you do want to put them in this sleeve here just to clean up the wire. So I normally would just come in, put your wires back in that sleeve. And then just, you got your cover that mounts back. Make sure it's nice and clean. So once you got your wires inside, everything looks clean, go ahead and shut the carriage door. And then you're gonna mount your 10mm hex head bolts back inside. One on the top, one on the bottom. And then you can go ahead and tighten them up. So the last step is actually installing the reflective strip that mounts onto the pre-stretch roller. So just open up the door, and the one on the door, we're gonna go ahead and mount these two. You got your base that mounts here, and then your reflector that mounts. It's a 3M sticky back, and the sensor is actually gonna be seeing the reflector once mounted. So go ahead and peel off your backing first. I usually turn the roller where I can see the hole, and that's my starting point. So I'll actually start right there at the hole, and then kind of just turn your roller. Like that. So next we're gonna mount the reflector. So just peel off the back, and we're just gonna mount it right here on the pre-stretch roller. Next thing, we're going to turn on the machine, and we're gonna activate the Rconnect. All right, go ahead and press your reset button. Go ahead and hit the little guy on the bottom, and you're gonna wanna log into the service password. Press the guy's shirt where it turns into a wrench, and you're gonna wanna put in 6161, hit OK. Now you're logged in, so you're gonna wanna go to the gear. You're gonna wanna go to the wrench, and then you're gonna wanna press Rconnect. Once you press Rconnect, you're gonna wanna send the stream. So after pressing send stream, it can take a few minutes, and once you see your signal, which is -67, that means all the wires are correct and the Rconnect's ready to go.